Right, assess 8, page 96. I definitely want to do some of these tricky affairs, I tell you. I'm not going to do any of the D's or C stuff. I'm going to jump into grade B. Right, 7, question 7. At a football match, 60% of the pupils, 60% of the people are male. So straight away I want to go 40% female, just in case I need that. Right then, 80% of these supporters, 80% of these support the home team. So here we go, 80% home team. Of the females at the batch, this lot, 90% support the home team. Question: what percentage of all the people at the match support the home team? Okay, 60% times 80%, then add on 40% times 90%. Not too difficult. So let's just do the boys first. So 0.6 times 0.8, 6 8s are 48, 0.48. In other words, that becomes 48% of all the blokes support the home team. Now the girls, 0.4 times 0.9, and that's going to be 0.36 because 9 4s are 36. Was it 38? No, 36. And that's going to be 36%. Altogether now, the total is going to be 48% chaps, add on the 36% ladies. That gives us 70, 84% of all these supporters who are present at the match, whatever match it is, support the home team. In other words, the other 16% don't. That's really naughty. Now, they could be from another club, I suppose. Right, next. Dawn pays a deposit of £60 for an electric guitar. Ah, brilliant, she plays guitar. So £60 is a deposit for a guitar. And this is 40% of the full price. Ah, that is 40%. Okay, jolly good. She pays off the rest of the cost in 6 equal monthly payments. Okay, so 6 months to pay off in, or is that alright? How much is each monthly payment? Well, first of all, I better work out how much the entire guitar costs. Let's do a quick reverse percentage. So here I go. So 40% of the guitar is 60 quid. I don't know. Let's just work out 1%. Well, that's going to be 60 divided by 40. Lose that a minute. What's that? 1.5. In other words, £1.50. We're talking money here, aren't we? And therefore 100% of the guitar is going to be £1.50 multiplied by 100. This guitar is actually £150 brand new. Now, what does she owe at the moment? Well, she owes £150. Take away the £60 deposit she paid, she owes £90. Is that alright? Let's just take a good look at that. 150, take away 60, she owes £90. Let's just check again. Yes. So now she wants to pay that off in 6 months on monthly instalments. In other words, you know, a certain amount each month. So the payment's going to be £90 divided by 6. Well, 6 goes into 9 1.5 times. That's going to be, actually no, what was it? 15. That was the problem. There you go. So it's £15 per month. Alright, so she pays £15 a month. She gets to take the guitar home early, and there's no indication that they've charged her any dodgy arrangements in terms of hire purchase arrangements. So that's really good. That's Dawn. Now I want to do question 9 as well. Again, because I'm just playing with grade B's here. Right, clothes shop. Now, clothes shop sells jackets for £75. So here's a jacket, and it's sold for £75. In other words, that includes the profit. And trousers sold for £52. That will include the profit. It makes, yeah, 25% profit on the jacket. So that's 25%. Oh, it's gone. So 25% profit on that. And on the jacket it makes 30% profit. Okay. question says, how much did the shop pay for each item? Two separate questions really. So in other words, if I'm making 25% profit, this £75 represent 125%. Essentially 125% equals 75. I want to get 100% worth, don't I? Ooh, I don't like this at all. Let's work out, I don't want to work out 1%, that's horrible. I want to work out, if I work out, oh, I don't know, if I work out 25%, I basically divide this by 4, don't I? So 25% is going to be 75 over 4. It goes, sorry, 5, divide by 5, because 25 goes into 125 5 times, so if I divide it by 5, I should be alright then. Right, 5s into 75 go something, I don't know, 14, 15 I think, yeah, 5, 15 to 75, so 100% of what the jacket cost the shop is going to be 4 times as much as 15, and therefore it cost the shop £60 to get the jacket. Alright, different strategy to what I've used before. Now 30% profit on the trousers, in other words 130% comes to £52. Let's reduce it down a little bit. Nothing very convenient there, I'm afraid. I could go down the long route, I suppose. What if I work out 10% and divide that by 13? Will that work? Okay, let's just do that. So 10% is going to be 13 times less. So it's going to be 52 divided by 13 lots. Is that alright? Because 13 times 10 makes 130. That's basically what I'm doing. Does 13 go into 52? I sure hope it does. I believe it goes in 4 times. Is that okay? So 4 13s make 52. 40 plus 12, 52. Yes. Therefore 100% of the original pair of trousers paid for by the shop before going on sale will be 10 times as much as 14. Sorry, 10 times as much as 4, which is £40. So what do we got then? The shop paid £60 for the jacket, it paid £40 for the trousers, and that's what they've done. Now question 10 is rated at grade A. In terms of the actual mathematics of it, there's not a lot in it from what I can see, but it's a complicated storyline. Right, a shop normally sells surfboards at a profit of 60%. So I go 60% profit. The manager decides to reduce the price in the sale, but still wishes to make 20% profit. So reduction, but I still want to make 20% profit. Right. By what percentage of the normal selling price should the manager reduce the prices in the sale? Well, look at this. I want to end up with 20% profit. 20% profit can be written as 1.20, or if you like, get rid of the 0, 1.2. Because if I'm making a 20% profit, I'm adding that onto the 100% of what I paid for the surfboard anyway. So to make 20% profit, I must end up with a figure which is 1.2. Now, if I'm making a 60% profit, I'm talking about 1.60. In other words, get rid of the 0, but I'll leave it there on screen. So I've got to multiply my 1.6 by something, let's just call it x, and that will be the percentage I must multiply the 1.6 by to get it down to 1.2. And please note, if I do get down to 1.2, I've still made my 20% profit. So here I go, very simple equation. I've got 1.6x, again, this figure I'm looking for, equals 1.2. In other words, x is going to be 1.2 divided by 1.6. Nobody likes decimals. Let's call it 12 over 16. Let's halve it down. Let's just call that 6 over 8. Halve it down again. Let's just call that 3 over 4. 75%. Right. So 75% is the price. Therefore, the reduction must be 100% take away 75%. So in order to get my 120% there, or 20% profit, I must then reduce it by 25% and still make a profit of 20%. Have you got that? So let me just go through this one more time. I usually make a 60% profit, hence 1.60. If I multiply by 0.75, I've reduced the items by 25%. If I multiply my 1.6 by my 0.75, I will get 1.2, which is my 120% and therefore 20% profit. Please consider this one. It's grade A, and I can see why conceptually it's difficult to get your head around, but mathematically it's not that difficult, is it? I could do the exam question. It looks a little bit easy. If I think it's worthwhile, I'll tag it into the end of this video and we'll make it into one video. But as for me now, I'm going to stop and just review the AQA exam question.